Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt. Welcome to another week of training. This is our Monday workout. Let's begin with 3 relatively quick rounds of the warm-up. So we'll have a band mounted at the base of the rig. We're going to do hamstring curls with it. So hamstring is the big muscle on the back side of your leg that closes your knee. Right? So I put both of my heels up and then toes down through the band, and I'm stretching away from the rig. So just pull your heels to your butt for 8 reps. You should feel a nice little, not terribly unpleasant burning sensation in the hamstrings, and then come out of it. When you're done with that, side plank or Captain Morgan. So Captain Morgan would be kind of like the warm-up coach's challenge, but don't feel like you have to do it. If you do the Captain Morgan, it is just a side plank march, and you want the top leg to be in front of the bottom leg. So if you do the Captain Morgan, I'm just marching in place like so. If you do the side plank, try to stack your feet on top of each other, and in both of those, try not to have your body twisted towards the ground, but try to have your chest perpendicular, chest and shoulders perpendicular to the ground. All right, next we're gonna hop up and do some power jumps. So this is just repeating and practicing the power position, jumping and landing, absorbing a little force into the ground. So I'm setting my hips back, my knees are in line with the toes, feet flat on the floor, my hands are out front, right? Good posture, good lumbar arch in my back. I'm gonna jump and throw my hands down, and as I land, I bring my hands back up to that catching position. So jump, land, jump, land, jump. All right, that's my power jump. And then the last one is band rows from the rig. So you can take that same band, loosen it, slide it up to about your sternum height, and then palms facing up, thumbs pinching the band, rowing towards and pulling apart as I get to my chest. And then when I'm done with that, I can slide that band right back down to the ground level and get my next round of hamstring curls. After you completed all 3 rounds, then let's do some warm-up sets of back squat. So back squat is our primary lift, and we are at a relatively low rep range. This is the 6th week of our first 6-week cycle of 3, first set of 3 for our strength training protocol for back squats, and then later for overhead presses as well. And again, remember the deadlift is 3 weeks phased behind the back squats and pressing and pulling movements. And you do have a superset on this one. So back squat is relatively low reps, down to 2s, right? Back squat, heavy reps, rack that weight. And then our superset is on each side, and you could do these at the same time or independently, but a 15-second kettlebell bottoms up hold. And I would like for you to practice a couple different positions. So you could do the bottoms up hold just like this, like right out in front of you. You could do it in the overhead position. You could do it in kind of a halfway in between. Find the sticking point, which would be a great place to hold. Like the mechanically least advantageous position is when your elbow's at about 90 or your thumbs are about at your forehead. When we do our shoulder press, if you ever get stuck, most of the time you don't get stuck right at your shoulders, and you don't get stuck when the bar clears your head. You'll get stuck somewhere in this like forehead range of the bar, right? Because that's where your elbows are at 90 degrees, and that would be a great place to pick for your kettlebell bottoms up hold. But say as heavy as you can go and not drop the weight for 15 seconds on each side, okay? So when you get through, and that's just 3 sets of that. So only the first 3 sets of squats will you do your superset. When we finish with that, we have an interval workout that we will all start at the same time, but once we start, essentially the whole 4 rounds is for time, but there are built-in 60-second rests within the workout. So it is an interval workout, but how fast you do the work will determine how long the overall thing takes, and your score for the overall thing will be your total time. I would recommend tracking your splits, right? I would like to have our splits be relatively consistent and very fast, okay? So it's as fast as you can do it with excellent technique, without tripping on the box, without shorting your range of motion, et cetera, okay? So anytime we say something is for time, you need to translate into your head of like, I'm not going to throw technique out the window, I'm not going to short my range of motion, right? But I am going to do it as fast as I can, right? So the workout will be 4 rounds of this little very short cycle interval workout followed by a 60-second rest. So we'll start with box jumps, and these should be at the moderate high height, 24 and 20, but jump, land 2 feet, extend the hips, and then either step or jump down. All right, when you finish that, we have double dumbbell thrusters. So I've got my 2 dumbbells from my shoulder height, squatting all the way down, extending up and reaching overhead. 8 reps of a double dumbbell thruster. Set my double dumbbells down, 4 burpees. Burpee chest all the way to the ground, and remember to jump with the arms overhead at the top. Try when you jump to get your body totally vertical, so I'm not jumping like this with my chest still facing the ground. And then the last one is 8 reps of bar or our hanging knee raise or anything in that vein, right, of the progression for the toes to bar. When you're finished on that last toes to bar, I look up at the clock, exactly 1 minute rest, be standing right next to your box. So there will only be 1 3 2 1 go during this workout. The rest of the goes are gonna be on you, watching the clock, picking off that minute and going for another round, all right? That is it for this Monday. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.